In today's video, we're talking about transfer rumor about Raheem "the Mean Fighting Machine" Sterling from Manchester City, and apparently Thomas Tuchel has given the green light for this player. Let's talk about it. So Raheem Sterling we're talking about today. This is one I wasn't expecting, but from what I've been reading online, so I'm looking at my screen here from Football London, Chelsea have reportedly targeted Manchester City's forward Raheem Sterling ahead of the summer transfer window as a deal Thomas Tuchel wants to see happen. Now, as we know, Todd Boehly and the rest of them are still technically not Chelsea owners. They just keep pushing it down the line, saying, yes, we'll come to it at some point. But it seems like they have backed up Thomas Tuchel and say, Thomas Tuchel, here's a bunch of money. Go out and buy the players that you want to buy because you know what you need and exactly how to excel as a manager at this club, which frankly is a very good way to look at how you should really back your manager. Now, obviously, it's not that easy. You have to find players that really do fit your style. Clubs have to be willing to sell players to get you to come to their club, and you also have to make a pretty good deal because now you're going to be throwing $80 million out for, a CB like Harry Maguire. But that being said, this seems to be like a good deal for the striker slash winger Manchester City, Raheem Sterling. Now, apparently, it looks like he's going for about £59 million, which arguably, yes, is high for a player, but you have to remember he is English, so there's always going to be a higher price range for a player such as an English player. And Raheem Sterling has won the Premier League multiple times. I believe he's won it 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, since moving to Manchester City, which, again, was a very good move for him. Obviously, he didn't win the Champions League with Liverpool, so that's the only downfall with him leaving Liverpool at that time frame. But overall, Raheem Sterling has been a very good player. Yes, you could argue he does miss some good chances in front of the box, so he would, fit quite in well at Chelsea as of lately. All jokes being aside, though, he is a pretty good player. Now, looking at his stats overall, let's look at this first. He's had 320 appearances in the Premier League, 109 goals. So, that's pretty good for any player, whoever you talk about, to score over 100 goals in the Premier League. I know it's going to be more common nowadays, but still, that's still a good stat to have. On top of that, 56 assists. Now, yes, you could argue he does play for one of the best clubs to ever perform in the Premier League, Manchester City, under one of the arguable best managers ever to manage clubs, Pep Guardiola. So, yes, there may be an asterisk with all these stats, but still, to be able to be selected for a Pep Guardiola team and play for that club means he obviously has some talent. Now, in the last season, though, it's been a little difficult for Sterling to get a lot of minutes. Obviously, there's Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, just to name a few players that are really fighting for those positions out on the wing. So the fact Raheem Sterling, yes, got a lot of games this season, probably didn't get the minutes that he wanted. Now, in this past season, he still did play 30 or had 30 appearances in the Premier League. So again, only missed 8 matches, which overall is not that bad for any player because, again, you have games where you need to rest, and there's just games that sometimes you don't need to come off the bench if your team's already winning, such as Manchester City was doing this season. But in those 30 appearances, 13 goals and 5 assists. So again, 18 goals and assists throughout the entire season, again, is a good stat for a player to have, and it's one of those stats that Chelsea definitely needs. Now, with him maybe still coming to Chelsea, this then really makes the sense that we will be selling quite a few wingers. Now, I know I made a video about Neymar. That one's probably really up in the air, not really going to happen, but still, that is an option. Not saying it's going to happen, but Raheem Sterling seems to be more likely to happen. I would think that this player wants to stay in the Premier League. Yes, Manchester City going to Chelsea, there's not as a big rivalry with that. Yes, Chelsea are competing, obviously, for the title with Manchester City and Liverpool, but still, it's not like Arsenal and Chelsea trying to get players, or Tottenham and Chelsea. So there should be too much friction with both clubs trying to make a deal. Now, that being said, though, Arsenal is knocking on the door for this player as well, but the big takeaway that Chelsea can offer this player is Champions League. Arsenal fell short this past season, being in 5th position, so they're going to be playing in Europa League, which could make a huge difference. Had they finished in the top 4, maybe he would look to go to Arsenal along with maybe his teammate Gabriel Jesus, but because that did not happen, I think he's going to be looking at Chelsea, though he could still technically stay at Manchester City. He does still have a few years left on his contract. Being 27 years old, going to be 28 in December later this year, he still has a lot of potential to do a lot in the Premier League and also in a lot of other cup games such as the Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, just to name a few other cup matches. So if this could happen, I think this would be a really good signing for Thomas Tuchel and for Chelsea because, like I said, he is one of the players that Thomas Tuchel wants to bring to the club at Chelsea. This isn't one of those that maybe, hey, let's just get this player because it's a good deal. No, the manager, Thomas Tuchel, wants to bring this guy in. He sees what he can do, very good attacking. And again, he does come back as well to play a little bit of defense, but he's a very pacey winger, knows how to cut in. And like I said, he can score goals. I think it's maybe an upgrade from Timo Werner, even though you could argue they are the same player for the most part. But I think with Sterling, he's definitely proven himself in the Premier League. Timo Werner did start well at first at Chelsea, but since then, his stock has really not been that great. And I could see us offloading him back into the Bundesliga for any club that really wants to pick him up. And therefore, I think Raheem Sterling gets plugged right into the starting 11. Yes, he may have to fight a few other players for that position, but overall, I think he'd be the best starting winger for our club, and we know he can feed balls into Romelu Lukaku, who again needs service to score more goals. If he's got a guy like Raheem Sterling, this could be one of those factors to allow him to score more goals and us, lifting our entire team up to fight for the Premier League title. So we will see what happens. Like I said, we kind of have to wait until the owners are technically the owners of Chelsea. But once it happens, I think it's going to be a domino effect when we start buying different players and signing players and actually selling players as well. But until then, it's all speculation. But I think Chelsea are pretty positive going for this player. I know Manchester City want to sell him, so I think this is almost going to be a sure deal for the club. So that is all I have for you today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. It helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself. And also comment down below what you think about Sterling. If he will be a good fit, if he's not a good fit, do you trust Thomas Tuchel with picking this player as being one of the signs with the summer window coming up? I want to know what you guys think. So again, comment down below and I will see you next time.